Diddy's empire is collapsing in real time. Every major brand has cut ties, his revenue streams have reportedly dried up, and federal agents have seized his private jets and luxury mansions. Sources say the pressure is mounting fast, with Diddy now facing a financial freefall on top of his legal nightmare. To make matters worse, his legal team has just filed for bail for the 5th time, signaling growing desperation. The question now is simple but explosive. Can Diddy secure his freedom before the money runs out? Or are we watching the final chapter of his career unfold right before our eyes?
Nah, Diddy's in a tricky situation.
Boy, that's the understatement of the year.
Yeah, I think it's over.
You think it's over?
I think it's over for him as like a figure in entertainment.
Right. But do you
Like,
think it's over as him as far as
jail?
like he gets a cell right next to R. Kelly?
I don't think so. I don't think
Really?
he gets locked
I think he
up.
skates.
I think he skates. Or he goes to
Really?
like Bali.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a move, huh?
I want to declare right here over these digital airwaves of YouTube that the career of Sean P. Diddy Combs, as we know it, it's over. This is over. It's over in the worst possible way, one of the worst possible ways.
Before the trial ever began, Diddy was sitting at the very top of the hip-hop food chain. He was widely considered the second richest figure in the genre, boasting a net worth north of $1 billion, with more than a dozen major brands operating under his empire. He wasn't just successful, he was untouchable, moving in elite circles alongside fellow billionaires like Jay-Z and Mark Cuban. In a moment that now feels surreal, New York City Mayor Eric Adams even awarded Diddy the key to the city just weeks before the case exploded into the public eye.
It's 2020, y'all. Yeah. And it's different than when it was 2016. You know, the game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a black billionaire's lunch.
He already has the keys to some pretty exclusive places, and now Sean Diddy Combs can add New York City to that list. It's Diddy Day in the city. Videos have been playing on the Jumbotron for TSX Broadway, and the crowd waited. Then around 11:30, the doors opened for the mayor and the artists.
The bad boy of entertainment is getting the key to the city from the bad boy of politics.
I want to thank y'all for this honor and just recognizing me, being from New York, giving me the key to the city. Diddy finally has the key to the city!
Today's event coincides with the release of his new album, The Love Album, Off the Grid.
Diddy's empire is falling apart fast. His companies are reportedly hemorrhaging money as major brands rush to distance themselves from his name. In a stunning reversal, Diddy was forced to return the key to New York City after his arrest, symbolizing just how far his influence has fallen. Even more telling, the same people who once proudly called him a close friend are now quietly stepping away, scrambling to protect their own reputations as the spotlight turns unforgiving.
Tonight, Sean Diddy Combs returned his honorary key to the city at the request of Mayor Eric Adams. The Harlem native was awarded the key last September, but returned it on June 10th.
All right, so let's get right into it. Check this out. This guy, Diddy, when you look at his net worth, 2022, he's a billionaire. Oh, we hear it, we see it all over the place. Today, net worth roughly $300 million, $400 million. His net worth, if you look at it, was a lot of spirits. 70% was spirits, $700 million. $50 million was private investments. Then you see $75 million cash, $100 million real estate and collectibles, $75 million catalog and intellectual property. Go to it right now. Only $150 million is spirits. He lost $550 million there. Cash is lower, and a bunch of other things are lower there. So what happened during that time when you think about it?
The harsh reality is that Diddy never had real friends, only alliances of convenience. When the pressure hit, those connections vanished overnight. Even Mayor Eric Adams, who once publicly celebrated Diddy, later found himself facing serious corruption scrutiny of his own, underscoring how fragile those power circles really are. And every relationship around Diddy seemed transactional from the start. Most telling of all, Jay-Z, long portrayed as his closest ally, never publicly defended or even acknowledged him as the case unfolded, proving just how quickly loyalty disappears when the spotlight turns dangerous.
Really feel, right? Other than him just being a freak. I don't know how you get in that position and do all of this wild. It just leads me to believe you don't have no real friends around you. Well, because if you're worth $1 billion and you're the guy that has all of these different people employed, like literally you're the reason all of this stuff is happening. All of these people have jobs. You mean to tell me not one person says, bro, you got to stop around with all these drugs. Bro, you got to stop around with all this alcohol. Bro, you need to stop around with all these girls. Bro, stop it with the prostitutes. Why do you have guns in the house with the serial number scratched off? Like nobody, not one person comes around and says, what the f*** are you doing?
Big breaking news tonight, and for the first time in the history of New York City, a sitting mayor has been indicted for crimes. ABC News reporting that Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted by a federal grand jury. We do not know yet the exact charges. Federal authorities have been investigating Adams and members of his staff, issuing subpoenas for documents and cell phones. Several members of administration have resigned, some of them also friends of Mayor Adams. Again, Eric Adams, the 110th mayor of New York, has been indicted by a federal grand jury. We'll have the latest online and tonight on Eyewitness News.
Diddy believed his moment of reckoning would never arrive, and that his powerful connections would shield him forever. But the crack started years ago. Back in 2007, Diddy partnered with liquor giant Diageo to promote Ciroc vodka, a deal that reportedly earned him over $400 million and helped launch him into billionaire status. According to multiple reports, tensions later exploded when Diddy allegedly tried to cut Diageo out and take full control of the brand. That's when Diageo abruptly severed ties. Just months later, lawsuits followed. Now, many are asking the same question. Was this all just coincidence? Or the beginning of the end?
For me, it kind of fit my brand. You know, my brand, I was known as the king of celebration, the king of parties. And I wanted something that was luxurious and aspirational. And I saw an opportunity in the ultra premium sector of vodka. I was naturally a vodka drinker. And you know, I knew about Ciroc, and I knew that at the time, it wasn't, people weren't really connecting with it, with the messaging. And so I proposed to Diageo, maybe we enter a partnership, let's see how it goes. I told them these, you know, astronomical numbers that I felt I could hit, and you know,
hit them.
I hit them. We take a lot of pride in the way that we have marketed and the success we've had, but we also take a lot of pride in the responsibility, awareness aspect that we brought to the industry.
When you compare him to some other people net worth-wise with Jay-Z, Dre, Diddy, and Kanye, this is what it looks like. Blue is Dre, orange is Jay-Z, green is Diddy, and purple is Kanye. Look what happened here. So Jay-Z keeps climbing. In 2011, he was roughly $450. Today he's $2.5 billion. Dre goes from where he was at $150 million at the time. He's worth roughly $980 million today. Diddy goes from $450, same place, to $1 billion, down to $300 million. And then Kanye goes from wherever he was. You look at the report today, you'll either see $300 million or $2.77 billion, depending on who's doing the audits. Forbes says $300 million. Okay, so let's go look at the Ciroc deal, what happened. So Diddy in 2007 does the Ciroc deal, which is a partnership with Diageo to revive Ciroc vodka, taking a 50-50 profit-sharing role rather than the standard endorsement. As brand manager and CMO, he elevated the brand from 40,000 to over 2 million cases a year, making it a premium product. Now, keep in mind, if you don't know who Diageo is, Diageo owns everybody. Johnny Walker, Crown Royal, Smirnoff, Kettle One, Don Julio, Casamigos, Captain Morgan, Bailey Irish Cream, Guinness. They own all these companies. So Ciroc, hey, this is big. We're bringing Diddy in. He's going to take it from 40,000 to 2 million. Profitable. This is great. Let's make some money together. 2013, De Leon Tequila co-ownership. Diddy and Diageo jointly acquired De Leon Tequila, making it a deeper investment relationship. May of 2023, Diddy sues Diageo. Diddy filed a lawsuit accusing Diageo of neglecting the De Leon brand, racial discrimination, claiming they marketed it as an urban product and failed to treat him as a true business partner.
So far, Diddy has lost major brand deals, reportedly sold off his private jet, listed his mansion, and even surrender his passport as his legal situation deepens. Insiders claim his hip-hop career is effectively finished, with time and money slipping away fast. Legal fees alone are said to be draining his remaining resources, while federal asset seizures have allegedly stripped him of control over key accounts. Court filings further allege that Diddy's personal properties, including his mansion and private planes, were used in connection with criminal activity, including the transportation of minors. Those jets, once worth tens of millions, are now reportedly in FBI custody, marking a stunning fall from untouchable mogul to financial lockdown.
Fox Business Network's Taylor Riggs says Diddy's financial bleeding shows no sign of stopping.
All I know is that good attorneys charge a lot per hour. We know that they have a big case ahead of them. They also have a lot of those civil trials.
I had a big year this year. His $60 million private jet has already been sold. The snazzy plane, sports cars, mansions from LA to Miami and the Hamptons, $1 million in jewelry and over $20 million in top-of-the-line art, including works by Andy Warhol. That's just a short list of Diddy's physical wealth. But now, with his legal nightmare getting even more frightening, Diddy put his Beverly Hills mansion, that was raided in March, on the market for $61 million.
If people don't want to touch anything with your name on it, you have to look at other tangible assets that you can sell.
The 54-year-old's long legal fight ahead includes over 24 current cases alleging sexual racketeering, sex trafficking. Diddy has vehemently denied all the charges and accusations against him.
And a Justice Department forfeiture action that could cost him his empire. An empire that prosecutors allege was built, at least in part, through a pattern of criminal activity, including alleged sex trafficking, drug distribution, and violence, all used to advance what they call a racketeering enterprise. In the unsealed indictment, prosecutors outline how his business and personal assets allegedly played a role in carrying out or concealing the crimes. This means any assets connected to the behavior, even indirectly, could be seized, including real estate, companies, vehicles, and aircrafts. Now, his $60 million private jet has reportedly already been sold. The Beverly Hills estate is currently on the market for $61 million. And while Combs still owns his $48 million Miami mansion, a judge denied his request to use it as collateral for bond.
No one knows exactly how much of Diddy's fortune federal authorities will ultimately seize, but one thing is becoming painfully clear: there won't be much left when this is over. Reports already suggest he's lost more than $600 million, and that's before any sentencing has even happened. By the time Diddy ever sees the outside again, the empire he built may be completely wiped out. Brands want nothing to do with him. Former celebrity allies have gone silent, and the man who once ruled hip-hop is now facing a future with no deals, no support, and no safety net left behind.
In an effort to protect what's left of his assets, Combs hired Stefan Casella, former deputy chief of the Justice Department's asset forfeiture and money laundering section, to fight the forfeiture action. If the jury finds Combs guilty, it will be up to them to determine how much of Combs' assets are subject to forfeiture. Anything forfeited after a conviction could be used to support alleged victims. Sean Combs denies all allegations. And to help us break down what's at stake, I'm joined by Jim Trusty. He's the former chief of the Department of Justice, Organized Crime and Gang Section. Jim, thank you so much for coming on today.
Sure, good to be here.
So, Jim, let's start with the forfeiture. This isn't just about prison time anymore. Prosecutors want his empire. From what you've seen in the filings, how aggressive is this?
Well, it looks to be very aggressive, and there's a couple of reasons I say that. The first is it's very broadly worded. What they're talking about is essentially any property, real or personal, that could constitute either facilitating property or instrumentalities, they call it, or proceeds. And so that's kind of the whole business empire of P. Diddy being at risk. And that's the second part, which is it's a RICO case, a criminal enterprise case, where they've defined the organization, the criminal enterprise, as not just Sean Combs, but as all these business interests that he has, including liquor labels, music labels, everything else you can think of. So they've set it up in a way where when they get to a forfeiture phase, if there's a conviction, the sky's the limit, and it looks like they're going to try to take a piece out of him everywhere he's ever touched.
According to insiders, Diddy's legal bills are exploding as the case drags on. Former federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani, founder of West Coast Trial Lawyers, explained that Diddy could easily spend 8 figures, more than $10 million, on his defense by the time everything is over. In high-stakes federal cases like this, elite criminal defense attorneys often demand retainers of $1 million or more, and Diddy reportedly has an entire team of top-tier lawyers working around the clock. That level of firepower isn't surprising when someone's net worth is said to be in the billions, and their freedom, reputation, and future are all on the line.
And here's what people don't realize. Diddy's not just burning money on defense. His income sources are collapsing one by one, if not already collapsed. Ciroc's parent company, Diageo, dropped him quietly. No fanfare, no public fight, just a quiet, chilling severance. Revolt TV is bleeding viewers and advertisers amid backlash over Diddy's involvement. Staff are quitting. Execs are jumping ship. He already sold his stake in it, but now that's died. Sean John is a ghost brand, barely sold in department stores, relying on licensing deals that are now being reevaluated. That $400 million fortune is shrinking fast, and Diddy knows it.
Right now, Diddy has no idea how long he could be facing behind bars, and he knows every extra day inside means more money gone forever. In what many see as a last-ditch attempt to soften public perception, Diddy has reportedly entered a rehab program. His legal team is now pointing to alleged mental health struggles as an explanation for his behavior. But for many critics, that argument rings hollow. Real people were hurt, lives were damaged, and shifting the blame to mental health doesn't erase the harm or the accountability that comes with it.
Appease the judge so he can help either with the sentencing or the fact the judge may release him. Now, based on all that and the programming and stuff like that, even if he does the program and stuff like that, the prosecution is still gonna say, yo, listen to me. Okay, he did the program, he did that, but this is how much time and more time than somebody else who had the same kind of crime, this is how much time they did. Because if you notice, the judge asked the defense for a record court cases of people getting time for this. So you know what the defense is gonna do? They're gonna come up the least amount of time that people got for this Mann Act charge. So now you got the prosecution. They're gonna put in the most time that somebody got who did this thing, who did this crime. So now the judge gonna look at the programming, look at the pre-sentence report, and decide what kind of time he gonna give them. But all that programming that he doing, all criminals, anybody who go to jail, if it's for drug dealers, they go to jail. Some of them don't even use drugs, but they take a drug class, they take the drug courses so it can look good on their record when they go in front of the probation and they go back in front of the judge. If they did a domestic violence, they take the domestic violence course. They take the domestic violence course so that when they go back in the judge, you know, he say, okay, they took a domestic violence course. And 9 times out of 10, any course that they take, they're gonna refer them out for treatment once they get out of jail. So all those courses and all those cases and all those courses that he's taking is to get him out of jail and nothing more. I don't give a flying F about it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just a facade. It's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? He had enough money way before he got to jail. If he wanted to do something to get himself right, to get off drugs, he could have got the best doctors. You understand? He could have gotten the best treatment facility. If he wanted to stop beating women, he could have got some psychological help. He could have bought the best that money could buy. So all this shit is just to get his sorry ass out to jail. And 9 times out of 10, it usually helps.
Few people are buying Diddy's sudden transformation. The timing feels far too convenient, coming immediately after his 5th bail request was denied. To critics, this doesn't look like healing, it looks like strategy. The belief is that this is pure damage control, a calculated move to convince the court he's changed. If that narrative sticks, it could mean a lighter sentence, or in the best case scenario for him, avoiding prison altogether.
Happy to have you back on the platform, man. October 3rd, man, we're gonna find out if Diddy do time or not. But I do want to ask you, how you feel about this program that he enrolled into?
Well, the programs that they put him in is because of he's getting close to release or he may be released. So the Bureau of Prisons for the federal government has to give him a program based on his crime that he committed. You know what I'm saying? He did commit a crime. He is going to jail for committing a crime, but the time is going to be based on his pre-sentence report. So now, in the pre-sentence report that the probation officers, the federal probation officer do, they go by the history. If he had any criminal history, they go by the criminal history. They go by the history, the crime. They go by what the victim statements and all that. And they do this report that they submit to the judge. And submitting that report to the judge is gonna have what they believe based on the guidelines of the prison system, the guidelines of the correctional sets up based on what the time he'll do based on the crime. Now, the crime, and let's get this straight, the crime that he committed is based on the Mann Act. And that ranged anywhere from probably 22 to 54 months. Probably 22 to 54 months. And they're not gonna probably run that consecutive.
Diddy's legal team has now made a 5th attempt at securing bail, and this time the offer is massive. According to court filings, his attorneys have proposed a $50 million bond package, backed by his Miami mansion. The conditions are extreme: surrendering his passport, strict travel restrictions, no phone or internet access, and full home detention monitored by private security. It's an unmistakable sign of desperation. Diddy isn't just asking to get out. He's willing to give up nearly everything just to walk free.
Now to the Sean Diddy Combs case. We may learn this week if he will be released on bond while he awaits sentencing. His lawyers filed a request asking the judge to release Combs on $50 million bond. Combs was convicted earlier this month on charges of transportation to engage in prostitution, and he was acquitted of more serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy. The government is expected to respond by this Thursday. Combs' sentencing is scheduled for October.
Said no. These are all the things you did even after you knew that we were going to be sitting right here together. You're going to stay where you at until we figure out the sentencing.
All right. Well, that is the latest
when you ask what Diddy should do if he comes home, he should do the work on himself. That's what he should be doing. He should be going to do some deep, intense therapy. He needs to find God. That's what he needs to be doing. He shouldn't be worried about no career. He shouldn't be worried about trying to get back professionally. He should be focusing on his personal life.
Many critics argue Diddy shouldn't be focused on salvaging a career at all. They say his priorities should be deep, serious therapy and personal accountability, not public image or professional redemption. The concern goes far beyond reputation. Opponents of his release warn that if Diddy were granted bail, people connected to the case could be put at risk. Cassie's attorney has formally urged the court to deny bail, stating that her client fears for her safety. That concern has been echoed by Deontay Nash, Cassie's longtime friend and a witness in the trial, who has also submitted a statement describing Diddy as dangerous. Given those filings, many are asking the same question. With so much fear on record, why should the court take the risk?
Cassie Ventura's friend Deontay Nash has sent a letter to the judge requesting that he deny Diddy's bail. As you know, Deontay Nash is one of Cassie's friends, and he was also her former stylist who testified against Diddy in his criminal trial. He testified about multiple instances of violence that he endured and that he also saw Cassie Ventura go through. And now he has just submitted a letter to the judge asking that he deny Diddy's bail until Diddy is sentenced on the 2 charges of prosta. Deontay Nash said, "I am writing to express my grave concern over the prospect of Sean Combs being released from custody. While I appreciate the fairness that you have shown throughout this proceeding, I feel compelled to be unequivocal about the danger he possesses to the public and to the individuals who have risked everything by coming forward. Mr. Combs has a long, well-documented history of violent, coercive, and retaliatory behavior. Over the years, he has repeatedly escaped meaningful accountability, and each time, this has only reinforced his sense of impunity. If he is released now, I have no doubt that he will see it as yet another license to continue intimidating, threatening, and harming people who challenged or exposed."
Freddie P. has issued a chilling warning regarding Cassie's safety. According to him, Cassie should consider leaving the country before it's too late. Freddie claims that individuals close to Diddy are already discussing retaliation, with Cassie allegedly at the center of their focus. He warns that if Diddy cannot reach her directly, those around her, family, friends, and her inner circle could become targets. Citing what he describes as Diddy's long history of using wealth and intimidation to silence people, Freddie says he fears Cassie's life could be in serious danger. These are allegations, but they underscore why so many are urging the court to take the threat seriously.
And now, Cassie, just go ahead and move out the country, baby. Pack little white guy up, get on out of here. We'll protect your family. Because if you think Sean and he done beat it, and you got 30 out of him, at the least, me personally, at the least, I would get your boyfriend beat up every time somebody see him. Like, I wouldn't have to be there. So I'm telling you, if I would do that, I don't know, you know Sean better than me. Cassie.
So you believe that Diddy, he'll try to harm Cassie if he get out?
I think so. I'm not trying to, man, it's hard because I don't know what Sean's getting out. I don't know what Sean is getting out of prison. I don't know if Sean is reformed. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if Sean gonna get out more arrogant now that you just beat the Fed. You see his kids dancing around, they don't look grateful. They look like, yeah, we gonna keep winning. That's not the attitude I would be giving. When I beat my case, when I walked out on my case, I dropped to my fucking knees. I didn't want to be around nobody. I'm happy as shit. I'm not celebrating blowing up in the law face because I know I was just fucking crying, begging God. Nobody was in there with me. I was begging him. So how I look like to get out here and act like some macho hero, like I wasn't just being a little bitch on my knees for my father to save me when nobody else would. So I don't know what P. Diddy getting out. But me, personally, you took 30 million from me, I would advise you to get it. I would get out and tell you to leave the country.
Some people believe Diddy could still have a life outside prison, that he could lean into the controversy and somehow rebrand himself. But let's be clear, redemption isn't a marketing strategy. You don't get to erase decades of alleged fear, control, and exploitation with a new image or a carefully crafted comeback. Trauma isn't something you relabel and call growth. What happens next is still unknown. Adding to the uncertainty, Suge Knight has claimed that Diddy is cooperating with federal authorities and that the government won't keep him locked up for long. If that were true, it raises an unsettling possibility that Diddy could walk out of court not only free, but with his money, his mansions, and even his planes returned. The idea that someone accused of trafficking and years of manipulation could escape serious consequences simply because he knows too much is what has many people disturbed and watching this case closely.
He's going to go to prison. And if he do, it'll be for something very, very small. It wouldn't be nothing what the people think. I don't think he's going to go nowhere long. And at the same time, you got to look at it. The best witness they had is KPD. KPD been an informant for a very, very long time. And KPD is getting ready to go to trial for the murder of Tupac. KPD said it, everybody else know it. And KPD said the money came from Puffy, the kid Tupac, and myself. So if they really wanted Puffy that bad, KPD would have could have deal with them, got on that stand, and broke it down. That would have been the RICO right there. That would have been murder for hire right there.
Is Diddy at a level of being untouchable where he's protected, or is Diddy a target that they'll eventually put all the blame on him and make sure they get away with it free?
I mean, he's definitely going to be the black motherfucker from the bag. Because you gotta realize one thing. That boy's life is dangerous. His life isn't, and he's just not dangerous with the shit they said he was doing, but he's in danger. He know too much. One thing you gotta realize is He probably having a conversation right now with the higher-ups and everybody else to figure out how it's going to work itself out. Because he know all the secrets. And if he get to running his mouth, it could be a bad look. I look at it like the most important thing is the industry needs to be built over. You have all these executives because somebody was their father, their grandfather, or all these type of stuff, and they don't give people the opportunity to grow and learn. I know when I first started in this business, it wasn't a machine. I had to be the machine. I had to figure out how to get my songs on the radio. Because at that time, they was getting 5%, and they got 10%, those popping champagne bottles. I went from 95% of the songs you hear on the radio was my songs into 97%. So you have to really do all this thing and really do the work. And once the work,
billion-dollar empire, the luxury lifestyle, the global influence, it's all gone. Diddy's friends have disappeared, his brands have walked away, and what remains is a trail of broken lives and unanswered questions. The fifth bail request, the $50 million offer, the sudden rehab move. It all feels like the same pattern. A desperate man trying to rewrite his story before the final chapter is locked in. If you want more deep dives like this, subscribe and turn on notifications. And let us know in the comments, do you think Diddy will walk free, or is this truly the end of the road?